How to fix preoccupied attachment style. If you haven't done so already, just go watch part 1 of this video where I talk about the theory behind preoccupied attachment. This video will be mostly practical advice on how to fix it. So first, we have to understand how secure people act in relationships and in dating in general. This will help you to know what is normal, what's healthy, and what is not. There are also core beliefs that you need to start seeing as dysfunctional in order for you to change. I'm a very good person, I'm a loving person, I want to give lots of love to somebody, to someone, but everyone seems to run away. I'm so good, but everyone else is evil. Well, imagine you as the preoccupied person being texted every single second by a partner. Even if you're busy with work, they're texting, your partner is sending maybe even insults and getting angry by text messages because you're not responding on time. This imaginal exercise may help you to realize that giving love is good, but giving too much of something when the other person clearly is not able or is not in the headspace to receive it is not healthy, and it's not loving in any way. It's quite selfish and narcissistic. It's the equivalent of bullying, it's smothering, it's suffocating. It's exactly like you need to shower, groom yourself, take care of yourself. Other people too need that kind of space. If your partner or you yourself need space, as in working on a project and can't text back on time, it doesn't mean they're cheating or they don't love you. It doesn't always mean that. These are just stuck beliefs from your past childhood trauma. Just remember the analogy about being smothered yourself. So the first technique here to start learning how secure people act and react, and also to release those core limiting, preoccupied, anxious attachment limiting beliefs, is to see and imagine being in a relationship with yourself. Imagine your trigger. Imagine being triggered and acting out your neediness. Then ask yourself, how does it feel like to you to be at the receiving end of these behaviors? Is it healthy? How does it feel inside your body? These questions will help you to wake up and disidentify from the pattern, because many preoccupied people see their behaviors as completely normal. Awareness is the first step. When it comes to fixing preoccupied attachment, for most of you watching, you will start off with trial and error. Losing relationships, texting people too much, getting angry at people not texting back, pressuring partners to meet you more often, getting angry when someone doesn't want to get into a relationship as fast as you'd want, holding grudges and resentment. That's okay. Start by observing all that. You won't be able to fix everything overnight, but you can fix it. Track your behaviors, make a journal. Most of them will revolve around neediness themes. I'll give you some examples. Overthinking when somebody will ever text you back or not. When will I ever see this or that person again? Do they love me? Am I good enough for them physically, emotionally, or personality-wise? Am I good enough for my date, my next date? Did they flake, or did they not want to set up a second date because I wasn't enough? Am I enough or not? Will they forget about me if I don't text them every day, every second? I need to text all the time. I love them so much and I want to show it. I know they're busy now, but I need them now. They said they're sleeping, but they're probably cheating. I need to have sex with them soon. Very soon I'm going to just text them even though I know we just met yesterday. I don't care. I'm not sure if they'll appreciate it because I'm full of love. I'm not needy, I'm just an empath, and I want to give love to somebody, lots of love. If they're not texting back, it means they're cheating. Tell me that you love me. Can you tell me? Okay, thank you, but I want you to say it in a specific way. Can you say it again? Can you say it more? If they're not texting back in time, I'm losing them, probably. They want to hang out with friends and they don't want to sacrifice that to come and see me instead. Of course they don't love me. This is proof. This girl doesn't want to meet for a second date. Of course I'm worthless. I'll never find someone as hot as them or as attractive as they are. Probably all the attractive people out there, they don't want me, and this is my only chance. I'm about to go on a date, and I hope they like me. I'm scared of them not liking me. What if they don't like me? I hope they do. But what if they don't? What will I do then? All these thought patterns I myself struggled with to some extent. You may have other patterns, but in general, they're gonna be the same. All preoccupied people have the same patterns. Feeling needy, feeling not good enough, identifying as an empath or a sensitive person, thinking that texting constantly is you giving love and that it's not bothering at all and it's totally normal, thinking that your partners need to sacrifice their plans with friends, family to come and see you, be only with you, needing for the partner to reassure you all the time that they won't leave you, even if they're not doing anything triggering your fear of abandonment, thinking they're not loving enough or narcissistic if they don't have the same degree of neediness you have towards them. Now for the practical part. Every time you're about to act out one of these behaviors, sit with yourself in meditation, become the other person, see and feel how the other person feels like when you're acting in that way. Does it feel good? Do you feel smothered? Do you, as them, feel like it's too much? Is what you're doing attractive? Is what you're doing healthy? You have to realize also that neediness is characterized by a low-grade narcissism. Preoccupied people think they're emotional. They are emotional empaths. That is not the issue, but some of them take pride in their neediness and sensitivity, thinking it's fixed character traits. They don't realize that, for example, it's quite narcissistic to be bombarding someone with hundreds of text messages when they're actually needing of space. Another thing they don't realize is that giving someone space is also an expression of love, especially when they need it to work on their own lives and care for themselves. But preoccupied people do not understand this definition of love. You may have to rewind the video, of course, and listen a few times the last two sentences that I just said. Narcissism is mainly about lack of empathy. Being demanding, giving love in the way you want it, but not in the way the other person needs it, as in the form of space at times, for example, being needy, angry when not given your way. It's all quite narcissistic, isn't it? It's not really about giving love or being loving and sensitive in any way, these behaviors that you're doing. That's how you sugarcoat and rationalize your dysfunctional behavior. This is not what your romantic partners want. They want you to be able to stand on your own feet to a fair extent. It's all about you getting attention from the other person exactly at the time you need it, and exactly whenever you need it, and however much you need. It's all about you. Trying to invade your partner's space in life when they actually need space. This is the equivalent of feeding a child more than they need to the point of vomiting, because you feel so good about yourself giving food to others, thinking that it's love. Shocking? Maybe, but it's the truth. The truth is you yourself also need space at times, but you don't really notice that your partner is respecting of that space many times. And if you think you don't need space, then the problem becomes you're unable to function without having your partner's presence at all times, which is very dysfunctional as well. We are meant to be able to stand on our own feet in this world and have others as bonus support if needed. And again, this video is not to be watched once. Rewatch this over and over to firmly ingrain this shocking truth into your skull. It may be difficult to control these behaviors, I get it. Preoccupied people tend to enter a childlike, unconscious state in relationships and forget about being a capable adult. With time, it can be fixed, of course, don't give up. But realize that the way you think others want to receive love from you is not always what and how they actually want to receive it. Love is also, or can be, given in terms of space, as space at times, and you have to realize this sooner or later. Space is what you need to learn to give, and especially when people request it from you. Practice giving love as space, as a preoccupied person. Practice giving distance as love, and exactly as much as the other person needs, not more and not less. Look up what is healthy, how secure people text their partners, how often they meet, etc. In general, stop texting too much. Stay with that fear of abandonment if it gets triggered for no reason. If it gets triggered because of your partner, then you have to talk to them, of course. But try to deal with it a little bit by yourself. Stop asking for reassurance too often, too much. Try to self-soothe and come to the fact that everything in this life has an end, one way or another, even if your relationship lasts, quote-unquote, forever. You have to learn how to be with yourself. With time, you'll realize that your fears are just passing emotions, nothing to freak out about, and you're able to handle them by yourself. Also, mentally meditate on the fact that if your partner is not around, it doesn't mean that they abandoned you. Now let's move on. There's many ways to cope with and manage preoccupied attachment style. The first could be awareness, mindfulness, and behavioral management. So the first step is to gradually get to the point where you become aware of the aforementioned thought patterns and behavioral patterns more quickly as they're happening in real time. The first level of awareness is realizing that you have the patterns of preoccupation. The second level and beyond is to begin to wake yourself up faster and more immediately as you're acting out the behavior or thought pattern. What I want you to do is to journal a list of your most common dysfunctional behaviors. Do a thorough research or read some books about attachment styles, codependency, to understand all of this better, to understand your patterns better. You could also look this up online. It's very easily accessible information. Or you can check out my first video, Introduction to Attachment Styles, where I go into details about what kind of behaviors preoccupied people exhibit most of the time. And also watch the first part of this video, which is theory about preoccupied attachment style, because this one is about practical advice. Now, write them down somewhere. Make a list of these behaviors, track them. Every day you get triggered, you track, you write down. All of this will plant the seed of awareness in your mind. Next time the pattern comes up, your mind will activate this newfound awareness and bring your attention to the pattern instead of being lost in it, being it. The other thing I want you to do also is to study or look up online secure attachment, how secure people behave in relationships, how they see the world, themselves and others. Well, you could also watch again my upcoming videos or previous videos about introduction to attachment styles, how secure people behave, okay? This will plant another seed of perception and awareness that will help you to know what you're aiming at in the healing process. So the first phase is conscious observation and mindfulness. Just become aware of your dysfunctional behavior, let it go, and bring awareness to it and to the present moment. Make a list, as I said. With time, just through awareness of these patterns, they will start to diminish and decrease gradually. Try to stop yourself from taking action. Don't force it, but keep challenging yourself a little bit more every day. As in, for example, quote unquote, I wonder what would happen if I just let go of constantly texting my partner and just stay with this anxiety for a bit. Keep it for myself a little longer. Again, another question you could ask yourself, I wonder what would happen if I don't text every person I have sex with the next day, right after, and start getting crazy and needy. And again, another one would be, well, quote unquote, let me try to not double text this person I'm interested in. One text message is more than enough. And I'm sure I already conveyed interest in meeting them again. If they ghost, then this time I won't double text, unquote. And just have these little experiments with yourself, these questions, and gradually your needy behavior will stop. You will gradually build confidence in the fact that you can actually manage and be with your anxiety by yourself, to some extent at least. Because you will realize that you're actually very much capable to feel and contain your anxiety and fear of abandonment inside your body without allowing it to drive you into needy behavior. For instance, the problem of constantly texting friends, family, partners every 5-10 minutes, let's just say, this now changes to just thinking about texting instead of actually doing it, okay? You're now dealing with thoughts at an advanced level of fixing this stuff. You're gonna start dealing with just the thought of doing it, but not the action itself. And with time, the thoughts will start to disappear as well. But be easy on yourself at first. It's difficult to change an attachment style, especially if the level of disturbance is high. This is a long process and you're trying to change something that developed in your first 1 to 2 years of your life. This is your first ever trauma, so it's a very deep and core trauma, your attachment style. You can also benefit from shadow work, a psychologist, spiritual awakening work, energy healing, shamanic healing, any self-healing technique, any self-help and self-healing technique that will help you directly target these behaviors. The second way to go about doing this is feeling all that energy, that anxiety, and redirecting it towards self-love. So this technique, how does it work? I recently created these methods for my coaching clients for other purposes, but I realized that it can also be applied to manage dysfunctional attachment behavior. Let's see how it works. Do not let the preoccupation turn into a behavior, as in you texting the person to meet every single day. The actual technique is just feel all that neediness, all that anxiety, all that energy, and put it into self-love and self-care activities. For example, feel the need to get something from outside of yourself. Feel the need to get sex from somebody. Feel the need to get love from this person. Feel all that energy and ask yourself, quote unquote, what would I do with this energy if I truly loved myself 100%? Next question. This strong love energy coming out of me and towards this or that person, what can I do to ground it within myself? What can I do with it to care for myself more? Now, go read a book, start a business, work out, play with your favorite instrument, video games, watch a movie, whatever, sleep. Don't do this thinking, quote unquote, I hope they text me back soon or invite me out as I'm distracting myself with all these healing methods or activities or techniques. Don't do that. It has to be genuine. You have to literally let go of the person completely. Get into a state of complete amnesia about this person you're dating. You know you did this right when after having finished some activity and after asking yourself these self-love grounding questions, you realize suddenly that while doing this self-love activity, you actually forgot completely about the person in that specific period of time. And now it's almost as if you just remembered them again. It's almost like you didn't see them for years. You're just so in the zone, in a flow state with this activity. So, as you can see, this technique works to divert outward flow of energy into inward flow of self-love. It may take time to get it to work properly. I have found that those with some experience dealing with self-help techniques and healing techniques, it should work for them almost instantly. They'll know what I'm talking about and they'll be able to apply it more easily. But if you're new to inner work in general, then give it some time. It's very powerful once you get it to work for you. I'm at the point where I can apply this technique just by thinking about it. I don't have to sit down and meditate anymore. I just feel the flow of energy, where it's at, and I consciously place it onto and within myself. So again, to summarize, guys, the technique is first ask yourself these grounding questions. What would I do with this anxiety, needy energy if I truly loved myself 100% right now? What would I do with it right now? Where would I put it? Next question. This strong love energy coming out of me and towards this or that person, what can I do to ground it within myself? What kind of activities can I do? What would I do? And again, if I truly loved myself 100%, what would I do with this energy instead of putting it into someone else or something else outside of myself? And then what you can do, again, to summarize, you can go about your day and really put all of your love and focus into a self-love activity. Eat something that you really love. Go out, take a walk by yourself. You can watch your favorite movie. You can cook something. You can work on your career or business more. So that would be it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm sure all of this will come in handy. If you would like to accelerate the healing process, check out my advanced shadow work course. It's in the link in the description below. You could access it through the Peak Transformation membership. Also, check out my website for one-on-one coaching opportunities. Support the journey on Patreon. You can support the journey there as well. Like, leave a comment, it helps out a lot, and share the video with someone in need. Thanks for raising awareness about mental health, and fixing our attachment styles is very important for long-term relational success. I'll see you next week, guys. Take care.